Not allowed to take pictures from outside of the prison.
We are a team of medical doctors. We have come in this country to work in the prisons.
And it's all different in the prisons. Every time it's a new situation.
Last year we worked in this country for the first time to work with PFI. We had to look after very severe cases. It was a time direct after a big cholera epidemic here in the country. The inmates were in a very bad condition because even their relatives outside of the prison has terrible conditions.
We thank our officer commanding for allowing us to come here. We've got a team here who are very professional. They've given their time to come to Zimbabwe to be with you here today in this very prison.
The medical doctors from Germany came to us right in time when we needed them. When they came last year, our health system had come to a halt. There was no medication in the country. And this did not spare our prisons. There was not enough food in prison, and our brothers and sisters were dying there merely because of hunger. And from nowhere, we hear Prison Fellowship International connecting us to Umidika, to the German doctors. And so, it brought life very quickly to our brothers and sisters.
We saw very severe malnutrition, really sick patients. Even then, the impression of the need of this to help these people was so high that we discussed that we will come back.
One year later, the doctors return. After the impact of their experiences last year and reports of great improvement in the prisons, they're keen to see the changes for themselves. But the situation this time is very different. A PFI camera crew have been invited to film alongside them in the prisons. 1 week in, the doctors have not yet been granted access to the areas they worked in last year. And such great improvement in only 1 year seems too good to be true. The doctors are desperate to help those suffering in the prisons, but worry that their mission may be compromised through misunderstanding and mistrust. Zimbabwe has received much criticism and negative publicity in the Western media recently. But mistrust and conflict run deep into its past. Prison Fellowship Zimbabwe director Peter Mandianika has faced mistrust both within himself and others.
Before, I thought that religion was a white man's mentality. Was their way of coming into this country and trying to bring religion in order that they can take our country. That was my feeling, and even during the war, I used to go about joining the teams that were going to destroy the churches and, give hard time to priests in the mission schools and so on. I would like to thank God that, when I went into prison, somebody visited me at night. A voice came to me to say, look, I brought you here to see what's happening here, how my people are suffering. And when you go out of prison, you must come back and continue to help these people that you are seeing suffering.
The very people Peter used to hate are now his friends. But the trust of those he works alongside and of the Zimbabwe Prison Service had to be earned.
From the beginning, as we started Prison Fellowship, there was a bit of some resistance from government, saying these ex-cons want to come back. I think they've got hidden agenda here. But through God's help and prayer, they began to understand that we were serious.
Peter's partnership with the Zimbabwe Prison Service has been forged over many years. But for the doctors, with less than a week left in the prisons, the jury's still out.
The situation might be improved. We are going to one of the big prisons in the city, and so we have the chance to compare the situations of the prisoners.
I think good condition for us to work here, and the dispensary is nearby, and we can have a good work, I think, today.
Norbert Chomarenga, Harare Central's chief superintendent, believes prison fellowship played a crucial role in the recovery from last year's crisis.
Prison fellowship has assisted us in many ways. They've assisted us during the times of cholera, also during the time that we had shortage of food. Last year, we were experiencing so many deaths. A month we would get at least 4 to 5, 6 to 10 deaths. Compared to this year, we have 1 or 2, which is a great improvement. I think they assisted us a lot.
Thank you.
I'm not quite sure what would have happened if Prison Fellowship Zimbabwe was not in existence. The inmates view us, in a way, as their immediate savior, because we were running up and down to try and save their lives. I think this disaster that we faced, especially from the government point of view, it has actually opened the doors for God to work miracles in those prisons.
In the final days of their mission, the doctors have seen many positive changes. But the most exciting development for them is the opportunity to mentor local volunteers.
You also want to say that the officers and the nurses, they are highly motivated and they are really for their people, and it's really a pleasure to work with them.
The knowledge is very good, and they are engaged to help the people.
It was very busy. We saw many patients. We were working side by side, okay, and we were sharing ideas.
I think it's pretty sure that they will continue to work with Prison Fellowship in the future. I'm sure about this.
I hope Prison Fellowship will do this maybe quarterly, not once a year.
Prison Fellowship is inspiring cooperation among local volunteers and prison officers. But Peter believes the leaders of the future will come from within Zimbabwe's prison walls.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mandianike.
Great leaders, Joseph, likes of Moses. I think the entry into prison, from my own observation, is a preparation for greater things.
The word prison, what does it stand for? The letter P, personality. It shapes your personality. You become twice the man you were.
What we are endeavoring to do is to identify these inmates who are potential leaders, prepare them. That's why when we were doing the education graduation, it was actually the inmates running the program.
Oh, it's an oasis, a place where you find love and comfort when the whole world has neglected you. And a new era, a new beginning, and a new life for you. Thank you.
We are trying to groom him so that when he goes out, he will be a good leader. He will find something to do. He will start from where we groomed him from.
Today is one of the memorable days in my life. I've managed to get a certificate from the Prison Fellowship. When I received my certificate, I didn't believe. I later on believe I'm a man among men.
Ruben Bashaya.
The lives of the inmates has greatly changed. We have seen inmates improving from a dying point to where they are now.
We must not condemn anybody. I have seen new things coming out from the West. A good example is myself. All my relatives, my close friends, they thought it was all over, finished. But here am I, God using me in a special way.
This is true not only for Peter, but for the nation of Zimbabwe.
We came in mistrusty things, but now we recognize and they recognize that we are friends. Not only treatment of patients happened here, but an increase of understanding between different cultures, Europeans and Africans.
Unity is power. We have seen it. Isaiah 1 verse 18, which says, "Come now." And this is the verse I always take to my brothers and sisters in prison. Come now, let us talk together. Come, let us reason together. Even though you have killed somebody, come. It becomes real. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter how bad you are, what you have done. God's invitation is, come, let us do things together.
It's our last day today, and one prisoner waved at us.
Doctor, come,
Yeah.
doctor.
And then we went towards the bars, and he pointed to his feet, and then he told us, "You were here last year, and you treated me. I couldn't walk."
Very big feet, swelling feet, and now I can jump. And then he jumped very fast and high. Yes, it was, yeah.
Yeah, and we thought it's worth to go to Zimbabwe, even we can help only one prisoner. And that was the one from last year.
Christina walked behind me and said to me, that was a case, the one case. Okay. But if I talk now, I go on with talking, I just feel now also the tears are coming.